Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is Victor Vran. Vran, I'm not going to even try to pronounce that because you know, if you watch this channel, that I'm horrible at pronunciation. But this is an early access game, and it was obtained via a key through a PR, evolve.pr at this point, so keep that in mind. Now this is a dev letter. A dev letter is a game which is in early access and it's designed to give feedback, still give you guys an idea of what the game is, and I'm only doing a dev letter if I think the game is worthy of it. This game is definitely worthy of it, just for reference. It's an action RPG. It has got some very solid points to it, and I'm going to go into it by playing some of the game for you. But a dev letter is designed to give the dev feedback. I know how critical dev feedback is in terms of, I'm a software engineer myself. I know getting that customer feedback can be vital in improving your product. Even if you think you know what you want, sometimes listening to the customer does do a lot in terms of, you know, giving you an expectation of what your customer base is going to give you. And so this is $19.99 in early access. Now, again, I don't usually recommend early access games. However, if you do want to be part of the process, I think this is one of those games that it does give you enough to justify it, especially if they keep on coming out with content. Now, this is Vran here, and we're just going to keep on dodging left, back, and forth. I'm going to buy some potions before we go out because I really do need a bunch of them at this point. Shift equip. Well, let's see here. There we go. Oh, I guess I didn't need to do that, but that's alright. There we go. Buy some potions there. So you know, one of the first things you'll notice about this game is its style. It definitely has a style that is very, very unique in my opinion. Yeah, you might have seen it before, but the presentation of this game really stands out to me in terms of the way they go about it. The way that you gain experience at a quest portion where a flag will come out of the sky and you'll see it come out of the sky and it will drop down experience points to you. So this game's presentation does do a lot, and I do have to commend the developers for that. It feels unique despite it being in the same settings, like a spider hole. Oh, there we go. So I'm in the spider hole. I'm going to go through this portion even though I've done one of the missions in here, mostly because it's definitely unique in the way that it ends. So, one of the things I do like, you see these guys here, the environment, you got these guys writhing around. This does add a lot of sort of background storytelling in terms of what's going on in this cave without actually sort of describing, these guys got captured and now they're still alive. But on the flip side, I do have to say there is opportunity here to definitely improve the storytelling aspect of it. Giving a bunch of missions at the start of the cave doesn't do a good job of telling me why I'm doing it. And you may say, well, because you're gaining experience, you're killing monsters. Yeah, but it can really help a game where you give a sort of a human face behind it, or a face behind it of why you're doing it. Like having a quest giver tell you exactly why you're doing this can really help, and I think there's an opportunity for Victor here to really improve that portion. Now, in each of these dungeons you'll have 5 segments in terms of 5 different quests. I've slayed the monsters with lava creeps, death blast, okay. I can find secrets, slay Matreons, nest, and melee attacks. I do want to see a little bit more variety in terms of the quest. Like, I mean, 4 of these are slay. I mean, okay, one's find secrets. Maybe add another one which is like, you know, activate 3 blah blah blah, or, you know, something along those lines. I noticed that there's a lot of a lot of killing in this portion, which, yeah, this kind of game, you definitely want to keep the killing as one of the main focal points, because, well, it's an action RPG. You want to kill things. And I will say the fighting in this game is fun. Now, first of all, the way that you create your character, you have 2 sets of weapons. You start off with 1, but you'll eventually get 2. Those weapons will determine your skills. And so, for example, I have this like knockback portion here, and I have this stun as well as one of my skills, and they recharge over time. And you'll notice, again, the presentation does very well in terms of, you know, presenting to you that what you've done with attack. In most cases. Once in a while, it's really hard to see what exactly you did that really caused the problem, or the animations in question, because of the sort of light color portion when you, like, hit a certain enemy, like that. It can be really hard to understand, like, what did I do exactly in that animation? So, you'll also notice this bar on the right called this overcharge, and they'll give me a skill which I can use. I'm using a boomerang right now because, well, I like the boomerang skill. Let's look at my inventory, though, because I want to show you exactly what the game is offering otherwise. I have these weapons in my inventory here, and let's change up. Let's change it to a hammer. Let's see, the dancing hammer, the duelist. How about that? And let's change up my cards here. So we got these destiny cards, and these will give you some of your unique attributes. Like I have lifesteal with weapon attacks. I've got a frost explosion on crit, and I also have greed. I just get more money. I also like, go back here, I also like the fact that your character's model here really does change. This art style, you usually don't see them actually take the time to incorporate your armor into like a real drawn portion. Like, yeah, sure, your character model can change, but like if I change his armor here, oh, I don't have a second set of armor. Where did that come from? Oh, okay, well that sucks. I have to deal with that later. But it'll actually have you change what the guy looks like in screen and in that artwork, which is really nice. It really does add to the sort of flair the game has. One of the other portions that I like about this game is its enemy types. Now, you're gonna see your soldiers and your different enemy types in this game, of course, like any action RPG, but I've noticed in this game that the enemy types do seem to have a good variety to them, even if it's not within a dungeon. Like in this dungeon, you're gonna have spiders. You got nothing but spiders in this dungeon. I do wish there was a little bit more variety there, maybe one other different enemy type. But within the spiders, you have these little hatchlings. You have the ranged hatchlings, which can slow you down. You can have these explosive ones where if you don't dodge out of the way, you'll get your butt handed to. You have the giant generating eggs monsters here. There we go. And you have the eggs in portion. So there is reasonable variety, and they're not all, okay, just whack them until they're dead. You'll have zombies, or I'm sorry, not zombies, skeletons that you'll think you've killed, and then will get back up again because they have like a second set of health. Which is, again, really nice. It does change things up rather nicely. And you'll notice here I've got a completely different set of skills with my hammer, which is, again, awesome. Again, there is no leveling in terms of, okay, I'm going to put, 3 points into dexterity. I'm going to put 2 points into, life. No, this is, your weapons choose your skills, and your destiny cards choose your skills. Which, again, for a simple action RPG, works very well. I think this game was almost designed to be a console game because of the simple control set, but it still works for a PC. Get back here. You know what? Let's change my shotgun. There we go. So you do have ranged weaponry. You can switch between them, and they also have cooldowns as well. There we go. Now, one thing I do want to tell the developers is that you really need to do a better job in explaining statuses. You'll notice that if, let me try to kill some other things here. You'll get statuses over an enemy indicating what they are. Let's see here. Vulnerable. That means he's going to take more damage. But the game doesn't do a very good job of telling you that. Now, I will admit, vulnerable, okay, that makes sense. As sort of a, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about there because it just makes logical sense. That's what the word vulnerable means. But cripple, that it seems to slow people down. Does it decrease damage by any chance? Does it do anything else? What does overkill mean for me exactly? I think you could do a better job at the opening of the game to really explain what's going on there. Okay, there we go. I'm going to switch back to my other weapon here. One thing I will ask the developers if they could implement is that you'll notice this dodge move. Now, there are two ways to dodge. I can shift, or I can hit the double arrow. I wish you had an option to turn off the double arrow dodge, because I find myself keep on doing it over and over again without me meaning to. That's just sort of the nature of my gameplay, where I'm mashing a key, and sometimes it can really be annoying at that point. Now, I can't talk about cooperative gameplay or, network gameplay because it's not implemented yet, which obviously it's one of the reasons why I say, I can't really recommend a game with a feature set like this, although I can say that, it's definitely worth looking at, maybe when it comes out, or, watching at this point. Now, let's see, what else here? Again, the interleaving quests. I do want to see more storytelling in this portion. And there's one thing I'm going to do for you guys where I think the major strength I see about Victor Vran is. And it is some of the bigger encounters. Now, boss fights in action SRPGs are... sometimes they are really hit and miss. In particular, sort of the nature of a repetitive boss can really lose some portions of it in terms of, it really sticking with you. Now, like, when I think of the first time I faced Diablo in Diablo 2, that really stuck with me. I was like, okay, cool. This is definitely different. This is definitely something that I like. There was an epicness to the battle in question. I'm going to switch off my hammer here. I'm not a hammer person, as you can probably tell. I prefer the faster character. There's a lot of enemies here. Let's use my overdrive. Oh, and I'm using a rapier now. That's different from a sword. It has actually got different abilities in terms of it's able to pierce enemies' armor a lot easier, which gives you reasons to use it. I mean, against bigger enemies that have armors on it, you may want to switch to a rapier. I also like the fact that your potions have a cooldown on them. Sometimes being able to spam potions really hurts a game in terms of progression. Ooh, a nice sword here. Let's see if it's any better than what I've got. Ooh, vampirism. And it's a little bit better. Yeah, let's use that. They could really hurt a game's progression because you're just spamming potions at this point. It doesn't give you a reason to back off. This game definitely does, because you're going to take damage. And in this next boss fight coming up, which that I'm hyping a little bit, you definitely are going to need to back off, because you're just going to get your ass handed to you. Again, better information telling here. I've activated this using overdrive or vigor or something. I don't know what it does. I really don't know what it does. I wish I did, because it seems interesting. But better explanations do go a long way. I am damaged. I am going to run away like a little girl, waiting for the health potion to come back here. Again, sound design, reasonable. Although you'll notice upcoming here that, yeah, there's definitely a section in which you can improve on. Alright, you'll notice there's a shitload of enemies over there. Let's go fight them. Actually, let me see. That's where I want to be. So we're going to just sort of run by these guys. You can find yourself running by enemies, which is interesting. You can just sort of run through a level at times. Here, obviously, I can't because there's actual, something blocking me at this point. But let's just take care of you, because I don't really want you to make more of these guys that could come and, bite me in the butt. There we go. Combat is simple, but again, for an action RPG like this, I can find reasons to keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. All right, here we go. This is why I think Victor Vran is a little bit out of the ordinary for me. And there's no sound in this cutscene, sadly, but this is a boss fight, and this shows the epicness of the boss fight in terms of just the presentation alone and what goes on. Yeah, those are all spider eggs. It gives an alien vibe, really. All right, and I'm going to switch to my shotgun here because you'll notice that I'm going to need it. So all these are enemies that will come and attack me during the boss fight. Now, Yeah, boy. I need to do my best to start taking this broodmother out. She will eat her little spider companions to regain health. So I do need to worry about these spider companions in question and not just sort of avoid them. And you'll notice I'm already getting overrun here. Look at how many enemies there are. I'm actually running a little bit because, uh-oh, she's crippled me and I'm in trouble already. 3. There we go. So the epicness of this fight really came through to me. The first time I faced her, I only got her to half health, and I felt like, you know, I want to do this again. I really want to do this again. And if you guys keep up this kind of stuff with your game, this is a game I'm going to probably be recommending to people. Oh my god, look at all these guys. Look at them all. Oh boy. There we go. The shotgun blast. Takes a little bit of time for it to recharge, but it does give me a little bit of space here. Let's see if I can focus on getting some... There we go. That's why I'm switching the shotgun. There's definitely motions where better weapons are used for better situations, and not just ranged either. Like I said, the rapier is great against armored enemies. The sword is a good all-around weapon from what I've seen. So there is definitely reasons for me to switch out my weaponry. Alright, come on. Oh boy. That's a slowing. I'm slowed when I'm in that area, so I gotta keep that in mind. Color and artistic-wise, I like the glows and the use of colors on most things. Everything pops out to the eye. Even though you've got a background that's mostly grayish green, it's still like this green, this bright green glow. Makes it easy for me to see all these eggs with no problems whatsoever. I mean, the spiders, the way that their colors on the backs, I can notice which spider is which and not, like, really scared about, you know, okay, did I hit an explosive spider? Oh, no, I didn't. Whoops. No, there's real reason for me to understand what they're doing. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. You do have a jump button, which is used in certain situations. In particular, it's used to find secrets from what I've seen. Effectively, at least. Alright, come on, come on. I am got so many things. Now, eventually, she'll run out of eggs. I mean, you'll have these other guys that can create more eggs for her, but in the end, she will have a lack of it. And that does play a part into this, in terms of, you know, maybe I need to just sort of weigh my options in terms of just focusing on taking out these little guys and, you know, wearing her down over time. I'm just going to jump around here. Now, I will say this, though, about the game. I need a difficulty option. I've only died once or twice, and only dying once and twice in a game like this, at this point, you know, I'm starting to see the signs of maybe getting bored with it. I do want a challenge in games like this. There's definitely a lack of challenge in my mind regarding this game. Now, note on this portion, I am over-leveled for this, in my opinion. You'll also notice that there is no levels on enemies, which is interesting and to say the least. But honestly, I would like to see some more difficulty. I'm not sure how they do it at this point. I don't want them to be like, you know, not blood sponges, you know, hit sponges at this point. Although I do think that different enemy placement or different enemy locations could definitely improve that. All right. We're going to take out this broodmother, and she has been eating her young, even though I've only done her about maybe a fourth of the damage in which I've needed to. Oh, I'm dazed. That's not good. Alright, there we go. I am not doing a lot of damage at all with this guy. There we go. There we go. Got a little bit on her. Sometimes the hit detection on that portion, too, is a little bit interesting. Alright, there we go. Other than that, I mean, I think I've given you an idea of exactly what I think about Vran in the first, like, 2.5 hours of gameplay here. I do think that this is a game that's definitely going to be worth checking out when it comes out of early access. Again, I am not the kind of person who Unless if the game really speaks to me and really feels like its own unique experience, Darkest Dungeon is the one I'm going to keep on going back to, because Darkest Dungeon is one of my favorite games of the last 5 years, and it's not even out of early access yet. That should say something. But I do see a lot of potential with this game, and definitely is worth looking at in terms of if you are an action RPG person. And if you do like supporting early access games, if you really are willing to sort of wait around and see what the developer has to offer, I do think Victor Vran does have at least several aspects in which I would, stick around. I would say, okay, I'm willing to, look and see what's going on and be involved in this process, hence this video. All right, she is at half health here. Let's see if we can do a little bit more in terms of, sort of bring it. Let's try going melee. Let's see if I can speed this up. Some of the animations in terms of the sword, oh, here you see she's trying to regenerate health. Let's see if we can. Okay, so she got a little bit of health back. There we go. So there was a reason for me to get up in her face at that point. And there are extra potions here. Like that second one that I used is a lifesteal potion. As you notice, I'm gaining health. There we go. There we go. You are so gonna die. Get in your face. Get in your face. And you notice that I still took damage there because I was not out of her range. There we go. She's calling her brother in back, but I'm not gonna give her a chance. She got a little bit of health back, but doesn't matter. Got her. All right, so this is Victor Vran, guys, and if I pronounced that incorrectly, I apologize to the developers. It is definitely a game to keep your eye on, and I hope this video helps the developers in terms of some of the things that I think that can be improved. In particular, the storytelling aspect really does need an improvement. Keep me interested in the world in question. But other than that, I see a solid action RPG. All right, guys, I will see you later. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have a chance, leave some feedback and comments below. If you liked the video, hit that like button. And if you want more content like this, hit that subscribe button. This is Dragnix signing off, hoping that gaming brings as much fun to you as it does for me.